Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to our debate on this morning. On the topic of should countries be allowed to limit immigration to protect their sovereignty, or should they accept all refugees and immigrants to support human rights? Immigration is the process of moving to a new country or region with the intentions of staying and living there. People may choose to immigrate for a several variety of reasons, such as employment opportunities, to escape a violent conflict, environment factors, educational purpose, or to reunite with family. The topic of immigrants has been challenged, especially for Western countries. Numerous changes have been made to discourage immigrants from applying for refuge. Even so, human rights groups have challenged restrictions and insist that immigrants must have fair trial. Hi, my name is Habibi Mariam and I will be your moderator for this morning. Before we begin, let me introduce our debate team. On the affirmative team, we have Sarana and Muhammad Hazra, who are standing on the positive stand of should countries accept all refugees and immigrants to support human rights. Opposing them, we have negative team including Weikang and Bevitra, who represent on the negative stand of should countries allowed to limit to protect their sovereignty. Before we start, I would like to go over a few guidelines for how debate will be structured. Each team will have 4 minutes to present their opening statement. After that, 30 seconds will be given to prepare rebuttal. Then 4 minutes will be given to start rebuttal and closing it. Without further ado, let's begin with the opening statement. Speakers from affirmative team, you have 4 minutes to present your argument.
Okay. Greetings to panelists, moderator, fellow debaters, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Saranya Ganesan from the affirmative side. Strongly believe that states should accept refugees and immigrants to support human rights. As quoted by Kofi Annan, it is in our collective interest to enhance solidarity and build tolerance between cultures. The stronger and more inclusive our societies are, the better we can prevent and respond to the grievances that terrorists exploit. This means ensuring the protection of refugees and migrants and respecting their human rights. It has been clearly demonstrated that accepting refugees and immigrants is a shared responsibility which every state should adhere to. So, who are refugees and immigrants and why should states protect their human rights? According to the Amnesty International, refugees refer to those who have fled their country since they have faced a series of human rights violation, persecution, and their government have failed to protect them. On the other hand, immigrants are those living outside of their country. They are not considered as asylum seekers or refugee. They have left their countries to seek opportunity, mainly work opportunity, education, or to join a family. And some even have left their country due to political unrest and poverty. Now, states should accept refugees and immigrants as these vulnerable groups have the rights to seek asylum and safety. By accepting them, countries acknowledge and protect this right. Turning them away would deny this basic right and potentially expose them to further harm. For example, the Syrian refugee crisis have illustrated the need for countries to accept refugees. Millions of Syrians have been forced to leave their home due to the ongoing war. Nations like Germany and Canada have opened their doors to provide safety and protection to these individuals, reaffirming their commitment to human rights. For instance, Canada has been recognized for its generous refugee resettlement program, and it has actively participated in efforts to assist Syrian refugees affected by the war. The Canadian government under Prime Minister Justin launched the Syrian Refugee Resettlement Program in 2015 to provide humanitarian aid and resettlement opportunities. Moreover, refugees and immigrants have the rights to dignity and respect, which is why also demonstrated that states should accept them to support human rights. Accepting refugees and immigrants is a demonstration of respect for their inherent dignity as human beings. By welcoming them, countries promote inclusivity, diversity, and fair treatment for all individuals. This fosters a sense of belonging and allows refugees and immigrants to rebuild their life with dignity. For instance, Sweden's approach to immigration showcased the importance of recognizing human rights. The country has implemented policies that promote integration, language learning, and access to education and healthcare. By doing so, they empower refugees and immigrants to live with dignity, contributing positively to the society while preserving their cultural heritage. With that, I'd like to end my speech by strongly stating that states should accept refugees and immigrants to support human rights. It is to be considered as a shared responsibility by every state in the world. And we should not turn our backs at them. Thank you.
Thank you, speakers from affirmative team. Now, speaker from negative team, you have 4 minutes to present your opening speech.
Thank you, Saranya uh, and the moderator. In my sides, I think that country should limit the immigration to protect their sovereignty. Why? You you can you all can just think what is the difference the identity card UD Universal Declaration of Human Rights and the difference of nationality cards. They all have two differences meanings. So, as a state, confirm a state should be preserve the civilians' rights or something because it's have to protect its national interests and security. By protecting national security is a legitimate concern for state. Well, it is important to uphold human rights. Government must also consider the safety and well-being of their citizens. Proper immigration control can help prevent potential threats such as terrorism or organized crime from entering the country. By maintaining the seen border, state can create an environment that safeguard both sovereignty and human rights. Next is about the cultural and social identity when setting immigration limits. This may maintain social harmony and preserve the local unique cultural heritage. Managing immigration allows for the integration of diverse cultures from time to time, allowing society to sustain long-term peace. Besides, the limitation of refugee can ensure they won't affect the local religious and traditional culture, as the refugee can and as there are new people and the identity of a state, they will bring an impact that affect the local origins. Like in Malaysia, the time Malaysia British colonization, the British bring Chinese, India in Malaysia. That affects to our cultural, the Malay cultures, traditions, even the religious. So the effect of the cultural, religious, and the tradition will bring something like anger and satisfy with them, so which will influence will change the lifestyle or even the religion and culture. So just now Saranya says that the refugee have right to seek asylum and safety. So according to the United Nations Declaration of Human Rights, uh, it states Article 25, it states that everyone has the right to a standard of living adequate for the health and well-being of himself and of his family, including food, clothing, housing, and medical care, and necessary social service. That means that humans' right include sufficient foods, clothing, shelters, and something. But what Saranya mentioned, the right just seek for asylum and safety. How about food? According to Malaysian laws, the refugee who came into Malaysia,
Now you have 30 seconds to conclude your
they
speech.
didn't have uh, they have only have limited access to the education, healthcare, and something. Is it this is what you want about human rights? That's all from me. Thank you.
Thank you. Now we will move into preparing the rebuttal. Each team have 30 seconds to prepare. Okay, time's up. Now speaker for affirmative team, you may begin your rebuttal in 4 minutes.
Okay, thank you to the moderator and also welcome from his perspective or view that yes, of course, countries should have their own limits about the allowance of refugees and also immigrants to come into one of the country. But actually, I do have my own thought about to argue the welcome point of view. So yes, of course, we know that immigrants, in terms of their own definitions, itself that immigrants mean that it is a person who actually vulnerable to the human right violation because there are actually nobody, they are actually not a citizen and also they do not have any kind of status related to them. Yes, because they are vulnerable from the human right. So it is just not only that, they also live in a precarious situation. And yes, of course, I do aware that sovereignty itself in terms of their own definition means power. So power held by one of the country. So yes, of course, the countries they may have like in order to protect their own sovereignty, their own sovereign of state. So they use the power to limit the immigration to come into one of the country. But and also there has like kind of stereotype means that it has a fear, of course, in one of the state, which is in the perspective of protecting of the human right and of immigrants and refugees, because this can lead to the threats of the sovereignty one of the state itself. But actually, limiting come come of the immigrants and refugees are not such a bad thing also. So it is because I do say it because yes, sovereignty. If we can provide any kind of material that relate to the limitation of the immigrant. So yeah, I do suggest that one of them is about the migration management. Okay, so before we go furthermore into the migration management and practices, so I would like to bring in about the international law itself. I would like to bring on about the international law, which is the international law said that about the immigration, which is the state has obligation to migrant about to respect, protect, and fulfill their own human right. So yes, of course, what I can suggest here that state may have like they can provide develop migration management law and practices that will protect the rights of both regular and also irregular migrants within their territory. Okay, so like for instance to support my point, okay, by developing laws and practices that protect the human right of regular migrants such as victims of trafficking, victims of smuggling. Okay, so from this state actually can be addressed issues of corruption and also transaction organized crime, while are often associate with the trafficking and smuggling in a person, and without we realize the state actually they have done such a protection to their own national security and the public order. So next, the second point that I can provide here is to protect them, which is the refugees and immigrant, as a human being. Okay, so why do I say human being? Because
You have
we have
30
see
seconds to
in
complete.
our continent population. Okay, we have population of 6.8 million, but they have received 1.5 million refugees from the Syria. So from here that even though they have many problems come to their own state, but still they accept the refugees because it is the responsibility of the humanity itself. So that's all from me. Thank you.
Thank you, speakers. Now, speakers from negative team, you can start your rebuttal.
Thank you, moderator. Greetings, everyone. I do respect the former speaker's opinion, but from my viewpoint, limiting immigration is crucial for a state's economic stability as it helps maintain a balance between labor demand and job opportunities for locals. Uncontrolled immigration can lead to economic strain, increased job competition, and depressed wages. By regulating immigration, countries can better manage their labor markets and promote economic growth. Malaysia faces a significant influx of foreign workers due to economic growth and labor shortages in sectors like construction, manufacturing, and services. Setting limits on immigration can help meet the labor demands and protect local job opportunities, avoiding excessive competition and potential wage depression. Uncontrolled immigration can create economic challenges such as wage suppression in certain sectors, negatively affecting local workers' earning potential and job prospects. Regulating immigrations allow the governments to address these concerns and distribute economic resources more equitably. Malaysia has implemented various policies and regulations to manage immigration and protect local workers' interests such as quotas for foreign workers, work permit requirements, and measures to combat undocumented immigration. These mechanisms aim to maintain a balance between labor demand and supply, promote decent work conditions, and safeguard the welfare of both local and foreign workers. On the other hand, large-scale immigration in Malaysia poses significant challenges to infrastructure and public services. The increase in population can lead to increased demand for affordable housing, healthcare services, education, transportation, and social welfare systems. Housing shortages, overcrowding, and property prices can make it difficult for low income individuals, including locals, to access affordable housing
Healthcare services may need to expand capacity to ensure quality services are available to both the host population and immigrants. Education systems may face challenges in providing language support, cultural integration programs, and adequate resources for immigrant children. Transportation system may be overcrowded, leading to traffic congestion and longer commuting time. Social welfare systems may also be affected as increased demand for social welfare benefits and integration programs may require additional resources and coordination to effectively meet the needs of immigrants and maintain social cohesion. Governments often adopt policies and strategies to manage immigration flows and allocate resources effectively, aiming to strike a balance between meeting the needs of both immigrants and local, ensuring sustainable development and maintaining social cohesion. Therefore, limiting immigrants and refugees is essential considering a country's economic status and limited resources and infrastructures. That's all for me. Thank you.
Thank you, speakers, for your insightful and thought-provoking argument on this topic. It has been lively and informative debate, and we appreciate your time and effort in preparing your point. As we come to close, I would like to conclude the key point that we made throughout the debate. There are pros and cons accepting immigrations. By accepting refugees, the countries have acknowledged how to demonstrate the humanity towards the immigrants. But however, there are some reasons why we should limit the immigration to the countries, because we have to protect our culture and also interest our state. So we hope that this debate has provided valuable insight into the topic and given our tentative thought. Thank you everyone and have a good day.